It was a pretty good reading month this month. I think I hit most, if not all, of my goals from the beginning of the month, and I'm really satisfied with it. Hey everyone, my name is Amanda and I'm the Fun Size Reader, and today is my November wrap up, going over everything that I read in the month of November of 2022. At the beginning of this month, I didn't know kind of what I was feeling like reading, so it was really hard to make a TBR. So I did a completely different type of TBR, and it felt really good to read out of that. I did categories instead of like specific books that I was going to stick to, and I stuck to those categories pretty well. I had a vampire category because there were so many vampire books coming out this month or that I needed to finish. Then I had a holiday book category, which I stuck with pretty well. Then I kind of had like a catch-all Kindle Unlimited romance, easy up type category. And I did utilize that one as well, although that one kind of mixed in with the holiday reading romances. So first off, of course, I read the Fun Size Book Club pick for the month of November, which was The Simple Wild. We had our discussion last night, and I'm so happy for everybody that read along with me. Thank you so much for participating, and I am really, really looking forward to December's. I love The Simple Wild. This is always a great book to read anytime that you read it. So this one made me happy that I read it this month. If you haven't read it, please go watch my review video for it. It's one of my favorite romances ever. As for the Christmas or holiday book category, I read 3 complete books. All of them were on my Kindle. I did not read any of my physical copies yet because sometimes I like reading the physical copies when it actually gets closer to the holiday. I like just sitting with like hot chocolate or tea at night by my fireplace and reading a physical book. So I have been saving those, but I read a bunch that was available on Kindle Unlimited. The first was the Fake Santa Apology Tour, and that was a novella. It was the very first one that I read, and it was like super quick hit, just get you into the holiday mindset. It was on Kindle Unlimited. I think it came out this year, and it was a nice little introductory. It was good to kind of like brush the dust off of the Christmas vibes and Christmas books and get me into the others. The next 2 I have not posted my reviews for yet, but keep an eye out because they are coming. One was naughty and one was nice. So it really fit the Christmas vibe of the year. Merry Xmas by Courtney Walsh was the one on the nice list. This was a sweet Christmas romance. It was really enjoyable to read. I really liked it. It really hit those like this is a Christmas book feels. And it had a cute romance, second chance romance, kind of a little bit of enemies to lovers, banter, competition type vibe as well. And it was full length. So it really did give you like that full immersion into a Christmas book. The one that was on the naughty list was 'Tis the Season for Revenge. Now this is a Legally Blonde inspired Christmas book. I go into my thoughts in my review on whether or not I truly think it is a Christmas book, but it is set at Christmas time, so I'm including it in my Christmas section. This one's naughty. It is about a girl who is trying to get revenge on her boyfriend who breaks up with her because she wasn't good enough for his law firm, wasn't serious enough, and so she goes and plots to be taken to his Christmas party that he never wanted to take her to. They were cute. I have thoroughly enjoyed the Christmas books that I've read so far, and I'm not done yet. There's definitely more in my list and on my TBR. So I'm going to be putting together a video also for either books that I've read or books that I have not yet read to add to your Christmas reading TBR. So make sure if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, click the little notifications button so you can keep an eye out for that video. I also started It Happened at Christmas, which was the one that you guys voted for. Again, it was the one that was the highest votes when I looked at it. So I don't know if the votes have changed, but this is the one that I started. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. I do have a physical copy, but this is a YA sweet romance about a boarding school, and it is a retelling of a popular movie, While You Were Sleeping. It's really cute so far, but I haven't finished it yet, so keep an eye out for that review. Then, my fantasy section killed me, you guys. The fantasy section of this month was devastating. I don't know why I decided to pick so many devastating fantasy books all in the month of November. I mean, I do know why, because one of them came out this month. The other one needed to be finished before the next one comes out next month. And the devastating fantasy also fit into the vampire category. The first was obviously Zodiac Academy 7, which I don't have the physical copy yet. I only have 6 right now, so that's the one that you get to see. Zodiac Academy 7, Heartless Guys, literally sobbed. Literally just cried at the end of this book. It took me a long time to read, but I did finish the second half of it in November because it basically is like 2 books. They're huge. Oh my God. The emotions that came with this book. And then I literally put this one down, and I don't even remember if I read anything in between. I think I may have read one of the Christmas books in between, but then I picked this one up, which was just as freaking emotional and devastating. So these ones, they killed me this month. I read a lot of freaking pages this month, but it didn't feel like it because they just were so enthralling and so good. If you haven't watched my reviews on these books and you are reading these series, please go watch them because I can't even convey in this video how I felt about these books. I needed I'm still torn up on this one. I still don't even know what to say. I closed my video and I realized that there were other things that I wanted to say and talk about and now I forgot them and I'm going to remember again as soon as I stop recording. The fantasy this month, the fantasy just, killed me. And then I started another fantasy series that I've been seeing kind of all over the place called Broken Bonds. It's the Bonds That Tie series. And I read the first one. I literally just finished it. So I'm going to give you kind of my initial thoughts because my review for it obviously hasn't even been recorded yet. I liked it. It was a reverse harem / why choose, whichever phrase you use to describe them. It was much better than the last reverse harem why choose book that I tried to read. I know a lot of you know that I did not finish. I DNF'd The Court of the Vampire Queen, and it was just too much for me. And I had talked to a friend of mine, and she said they're not all like this. Don't give up on that. And so I tried this one because a friend of mine texted me and was like, you need to read these books. And I was like, okay, I'm going to trust you. And I queued it up because I needed a break in between Christmas novels. So I started it and I finished it, and it was very different and very good. And I like the way that the relationships were done. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to tease it. At that. I have a lot more to say about it. You'll have to wait for that review. The last book that I read was The Heir by Sophie Lark, which was actually the first book that I read of the month. That was my first Mafia book that I have ever read. And it was maybe a good introduction. I'm not 100% sure how I feel yet, but I also feel like maybe I just didn't pick the right series. I really loved her writing, which is why I picked her book for next month's book club. I'm looking forward to reading more from her, and I will probably read more of that series. Maybe it wasn't the right Mafia experience for me. And I know a lot of you are probably waiting for this. I have not made progress on Charm yet. Okay, I know I'm getting all the comments of everybody who wants to know what I think and if I finished it. I have not finished it. I have not made progress. And here's why. I was going to do a whole separate video on this, but I feel like I'm just going to throw it in here. But I am very much a mood reader. Most of you who have been with me on this journey for a long time know that. I do not feel that it is fair to read an author's book if I am not in the right mood or mindset for it. I feel like that negatively impacts how I think about the book and the review that I put out for the book. So that being said, I want to give Charm its best chance. Okay. I don't want to read it at a time where it's not going to do well for the book or the review. So I might need to take a little pause, get through Bookmas, get through the holiday reads, get through all of that, and then return to Charm for Charm's best interest. Like, let me just make that clear. Just because I know that it's not the mood that I'm in. I'm not really in a YA mood right now, so I'm not trying to read YA books. Sometimes after the holidays are over and my brain has like stopped just racing and racing and racing all the time, I like to get back into YA books. I tend to read a lot of them in January. So just give me some grace, haha, pun intended, and I will get my thoughts out to you. I promise, but I just want it to be fair. Well, November was a killer month. I'm really proud of how much I read this month, and I enjoyed the reading that I did, which was like my goal. My whole goal from my setting my TBR for this month was just to enjoy the books that I read. And I did. Overall, I did. I read some really great books, and I'm really, really hoping that this momentum carries into December. How many books did you guys read this month? What were your favorites? Let me know. I'll add them to my TBR if they are fantastic. Hope it was a great reading month for you all as well. And don't forget, you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Fun Size Reader. See you guys next time.